Alright, so, Studio Series Grimlock. We all love this guy, right? But what about Oversized? This thing is freaking huge! Sup guys, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the BAIWEI knockoff of the Studio Series Age of Extinction Grimlock, featuring clear plastic Optimus Prime. Now, this figure is pretty big, so I have zoomed out my camera to the full extent, so that way you could completely see the figure. I'm sure in the video it looks quite small, but if you get it in person, you'll spot the difference. Now, this upscaled Grimlock doesn't just come with himself, he also comes with a buttload of accessories, which we'll get to later on. And like I said previously, he does come with a clear plastic BAIWEI knockoff of the Studio Series 32 Optimus Prime. However, there is an option on AliExpress where you could just get the figure minus Optimus. I chose both, because why not? But anyways, let's get to this guy first, and then we'll look at Big Boy. So, clear plastic Optimus Prime. What could go wrong? Painting and sculpting is... well, the sculpting's pretty good, don't get me wrong. But the painting... there's no painting. It's just clear plastic. And there is a different shade of clear plastic around the figure, as well as there already being some discoloration. Great. And the feet are clear plastic as well. There is an option where you can get this figure with die-cast metal feet, but I'm glad I got this version. Now, to be honest, I had no idea that there was a normal clear plastic feet option. That was until I found out on my live stream.
Wait, what? No way! There's one where you don't get the metallic feet? What?
Now the head sculpt is quite impressive, especially since it's the mouth version and not the faceplate. I'd figure with clear plastic it would pose a bit of a challenge to sculpt such a face, but I guess not. For accessories, he only comes with what appears to be Ultra Magnus's swords, except the silver scratched off. He comes with two, by the way, in which you could place them on his hands. Although, I kinda wish he came with the ones that go on the side of the wrist. Also, those two swords are the only accessories he comes with. He doesn't come with an extra chest piece or an extra face piece. I mean, he does in a different set of BAIWEI Optimus and Grimlock, but not this one. I didn't find them out until, well, I couldn't find the extra pieces. And no, I didn't get scammed. If I got the one with the extra chest piece and the extra faceplate, the feet would have been die-cast, as all of that comes in a different set. So I guess there's like two sets of that. And weapon storage does not go anywhere. And now for articulation, ball joint at the head, rotation at the shoulder pad moves out, which allows bend at the shoulder, bicep swivel, bend at the elbow, very tight wrist swivel, waist swivel, leg can move forward, legs can spread, leg can move forward, can move backwards, well, not like that. Move the lower wheel down to allow for more thigh rotation, bend at the knee pads move out to an extent, and lastly for the foot articulation, there's an up and a down, and side to side. With the articulation out of the way, let's move on to size comparison. Starting off with the original Studio Series 32 Optimus Prime. Here he is next to the Nemesis Prime repaint of the BAIWEI knockoff of the Transformers Studio Series 05 Optimus, BAIWEI 07 Nemesis Prime, as well as the BAIWEI Ultra Magnus repaint. BAIWEI Megatron, BAIWEI Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, Studio Series 3D The Ride Megatron, BAIWEI Ironhide, BAIWEI Shockwave, and lastly BAIWEI Sentinel Prime. Now I will not bore you with the transformation as I have done it multiple times, but here's a truck mode. No, nothing broke yet. And the truck mode is okay. It's okay. It's basically just a hologram of the semi-truck that Optimus turns into in the movie. And of course, weapon storage for these type of swords does not exist. But hey, the trailer hitch is compatible. But anyways, that's enough with the hologram Optimus Prime detour. Let's get on to the main guy. This guy. Now, there are other Studio Series Grimlock knockoffs that are upscaled. This being one of them. This also being BAIWEI's version. And the painting and sculpting, pretty good. However, the paint apps reflect a more aqua blue-ish paint scheme on this figure, and it doesn't really look all that great. Nonetheless, the toy still looks fine. Oh, and if you're wondering where the die-cast metal is, it's over here on the front of the foot. And Grimlock's head looks pretty cool too. Although one thing I noticed with the face is that there's a crack between his mouth. That's because the mouth is articulated. Now, for some reason, the back skirt is a little bit warped, I guess. I mean, not really warped, rather a little bit bent, because when I got this figure out of the mail, he came in all wrapped, like he was all curled in, so that kind of bent the back skirt right here. I mean, it's not too bad as long as it's not too noticeable, like it was when I got it out of the packaging. Of course, there's no back kibble. Why would there be? Except there is arm kibble. It's alright. You can modify the arm as a way where you can move this down right here so it can act as a little punching thing he can use as a way of smashing his opponents to bits. But this figure does come with accessories, so no need for that, as the little mace that used to be on his left arm is now removable, which could be a pain to plug in. And there you go, Grimlock's mace. Although, if that mace wasn't enough, he also comes with another mace, except with a chain, in which, of course, Grimlock can use to swing at his opponents. And, of course, you can tab it here. Of course, you can't say it because of the shadow, but it just plugs into there, and... Just kidding, you can't plug the mace onto the other side of the chain. Anyways, there are these two tabs right here, where if you open up Grimlock's fingers, which is quite impressive that this guy has actually articulated fingers, there is a little slot right there. I don't know if you could see it, but anyways, you're gonna try to plug it on to... Okay, that tapped off, but anyways, you're gonna make the attempt to plug it on onto that hand, and for some reason, it takes a lot of force to plug it on. It's alright. That's to make sure it holds in nice and snug, because third-party knockoffs are known to have those type of tabs that end up not working and then the accessory falls off the hand. But anyways, there you go, Grimlock and his two maces. He's equipped with 2 wrecking balls. And if you think we're done with accessories, well, you're wrong, because he comes with 2 big accessories and long, starting with his main accessory that we saw in the movie. And this thing is quite pointy. But anyways, you're just going to tab it in the same place. Now, it doesn't tab on the left arm because the position of the tab does not fit with the position of the slot right here. It works better on this side anyways, because the right arm is where Grimlock held his accessory in the movie. And if you thought that wasn't enough, here's the tail. Yes, this is the tail for Grimlock. The bigger tail. There's another tail, but for now we're paying attention to this tail, which converts into this. It looks a little goofy, but anyways, you plug it on to the left hand, and there you go. Grimlock is equipped with both of his accessories that are weighing him down for some reason. And if you want, you could extend this piece right here, just move it down like so, and it dangles, which is honestly quite pointless. But anyways, if you want, you could plug it right back in. Now, there actually is a tab around this little groove of the circle that will peg into that slot right there. Make sure it tabs in. Unlike the 2 maces, there is actually 2 tabs for weapon storage for both long accessories. You're going to peg this tab onto that slot right there, like so. And yeah, there you go. Anyways, you do the same thing for Grimlock's original accessory from the movie. You just plug it on over there, which is a little bit harder to plug on to the back. Interesting. But anyways, there you go. And if all those accessories weren't enough, he comes with a tail. And what you can do is you could actually plug the tail onto over here, but you can't see where you're going to tab the tab because, well, it's blocked by a whole buttload of this. Honestly, it's just best if I tab it on off camera. Give me a sec. But here you go. Honestly, it's not worth trying to tab this on. You could probably break a tab inside or something. Almost forgot to mention that this tail is double jointed on the tip. And it also tabs in onto that back part right there. And it looks awkward. But there is one more accessory, which is for the alternate mode. So let's not get into that. Anyways, moving into articulation. Ball joint at the head, full rotation at the arm, except the joint sucks. It's supposed to be a ratchet joint, but something is broken, I think. Slight bend at the shoulder, very tight bicep swivel, bend at the elbow, wrist swivel, waist swivel, legs can spread. Ow, that ratchet joint hurt. Anyways, the front skirt moves out, as well as the back skirt, which allows the leg to ratchet forward. That was not meant to happen. And also move backwards. Thigh swivel, bend at the knee. Knee pad moves out. And lastly, ball joint at the foot, which allows a swivel up and down and side to side. Also, I forgot to mention there's a light up features for this guy's eyes as well as the alternate mode Grimlock's eyes. However, the batteries included are a sort of rare type of LR batteries that I do not have with me at the moment. And if I were able to find them somewhere, I'm sure they would be pretty expensive. But I just wanted to point out that this figure does have light up features, which is amazing. But now for size comparison, here he is next to the original Studio Series Grimlock. Makes the original look like a deluxe. His add-on Clearimus Prime, TLK mainline Optimus, Drift, Crosshairs. Here he is next to his main meal, the KSI boss, and his appetizer, the KSI Sentry. And lastly, here he is next to the Studio Series 86 Grimlock. Cause why not? Also, I think I forgot to showcase the jaw opening for this guy. Sorry about that. But anyways, with the size comparison done, we can now get to the transformation, which is going to be a pain in the butt since this guy's bigger, but should be easy, I guess. Starting off, what I personally recommend you do is rotate the feet and then push this in. You do the same thing for the other side. And now what you're going to do next is close in the fin and then try your best to open this up, although there is a tight joint around here. However, I managed. And what you're going to do is rotate that and then close that in. Rotate the waist, make sure it's facing this way, and then rotate the arm and then push it all the way up. Make sure this tabs in as well. And for now, do not plug any tail, as we're going to leave that last. But anyways, I recommend you push that down and then make sure this opens up. Next, we work on the other side, that being the formation of the face. What I recommend you do is rotate the right arm, move this out, make sure it's like that, untab that, and make sure the hand is all the way on the bottom right there. Move the arms down like so. Extend this big boy out. And then there will be these two tabs right here, which will peg into these two slots right here. But what I recommend you do before you close in both jaws is you make sure you come to this piece and then tab it on right there and then close it in. And then be sure to close in those tabs as they are a little bit tough to snuggle in. Snuggle, where did I get that?
Which reminds me.
Well, anyways, you come back to this and you're gonna split this in half. It's a little bit hard to do, so let me... Okay, I didn't have to do it off camera. But anyways, you're just gonna untap that. Make sure you move this out. And then what you're gonna do next is you're gonna make sure this goes through the hand right there, which it will be exposed right there. And then you come back to this little slot right here. Make sure it tabs onto that piece. There we go. And it does move, but what can you do? Now, pause real quick. For some reason, these like to move out. Don't worry about that. Just leave it there. Now we work on the legs. What you're going to do is move the skirt out like so. And then untab this. And then untab this as well. And then what's going to happen next is that this is going to move up and down. Make sure that this tab connects onto that slot. Like so. And then make sure this closes in as well. And then untab this, which it should look something like this, I guess. You do the same thing for the other side. And if you haven't already, be sure to close in these sides right here. And then we got to put a tail in. You're given this option or this option. What I personally recommend is this one because A, it's longer, and B, it tabs in better than this. Sure, the tail isn't as long as it would be with this one, but in order to do so is a very fiddly process. But I mean, I guess it is doable, and you get an articulated tail too. But anyways, the alternative requires some transformation, as you want to move these to the side, leave it right there, and then come to these pieces right here. Leave them out right there, and then close this in. Make sure they tab in, because they do tab into something. I have yet to figure it out. And then what you're going to do next is move this out, because there's this tab right here that will peg into that slot right there. Slide it in, tab it in, and there you go. Man, that is long. But anyways, here we have oversized Grimlock in his oversized dino mode. With a little bit of parts forming does improve the alt mode, especially on the neck right here, as it was flat on the original, but there were these little parts forming gap fillers, which greatly improved this whole area. And of course there is a tongue for this guy. Also, can't forget to mention the long tail, as it does pose quite a challenge and struggle to showcase this figure up front without it smacking the background. So I'll just take it off for now. Okay, it tumbled. Now, what happens with the rest of Grimlock's staff? I don't think it goes anywhere. Neither does the wrecking balls. For articulation, the lower jaw does move up and down. The front arms are on a ball joint, and the legs have a little bit of articulation as well. And of course, the foot is also on a tight ball joint, but really can't move side to side, as there is of course this thing right here. So the only thing the foot can do is move up and down. And the tail would have counted as articulation if you applied this onto it as well, but it's not worth it. Now of course we got to add Knight Optimus onto Grimlock right here because it's movie accurate, except for the scale. Also, I keep on forgetting to mention a few things, but this also works as articulation, as well as this. But before we conclude the review, here he is next to the original Studio Series Grimlock in Dino mode form. Like father, like son, I guess. I don't know. Let me know in the comments which one you think looks better. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I have to say for this guy. Overall, pretty great figure. Is it worth picking up? I'd say yes, especially if you want an oversized Grimlock and an add-on. Although it's gonna cost you about from $73 to $140. In other words, that's an arm and a leg. Unless we're talking about $240, then yeah, that's probably worse. If you want to get them, you can find some pretty interesting deals on AliExpress. As of now, I don't know if there's any other source to obtain this figure from, so your best bet is AliExpress. But anyways, if you like what you saw in this video, be sure to slam that like button. Be sure to share this with your friends as well. Turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss another video. And most importantly, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. See ya!